All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the first ever Let's Get Rusty live stream. Let me see some crabs in the chat. Good to see you guys, the Rusty Bits. Hello. Sergi, hello. James. Awesome. Cal, nice to see you. All right, guys. So again, welcome. First ever Let's Get Rusty live stream. And yeah, I wanted to do this because there's some very exciting news happening in the Rust space, which is that JetBrains, if you guys don't already know, is officially about to release their Rust flagship IDE, RustRover. But not only that, they're doing something extremely special that they haven't done before for release, and that's exactly why I wanted to have them on this call and share the news with you guys in detail. So with that said, I actually have the team behind RustRover with me, and let me introduce you to them. Welcome, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
All right, Kirill, can you introduce yourself and the other guests here?
Yeah, I can start. Hi, my name is Kirill. I'm product manager and team lead at RustRover team, and we are happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Vitaly. I'm a developer advocate for RustRover.
Hi, folks. My name is Khalid. I'm actually a .NET developer advocate, but I moonlight as a Rust developer advocate as well. Thank you to Vitaly and Kirill for inviting me to this event.
Happy to have you guys. Khalid, we're going to convert you slowly but surely.
I'm
great.
ready.
So,
I'm ready.
so there's some very exciting news happening with RustRover, which is a Rust IDE. Kirill, can you give us some more details about this release?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I'm happy to share that today, after nearly 8 months of being in public preview, RustRover is becoming officially commercially available. We've been working pretty hard to work on the product during this public preview, and today we believe we are ready to mark the first stable release.
Okay, cool. So if I heard you correctly, today RustRover is having its first stable release. Is that right?
Yeah, it's right.
Excellent. Yeah, that's amazing news. I remember when I first tried RustRover, it was a great experience. So tell me, what's the significance of RustRover going from preview to now being released?
Yeah, as some of you may probably know, during public preview, we've been releasing the product pretty frequently, almost bi-weekly, and we for sure will continue doing so. But by doing a commercial release, we are showing our long-term commitment to the Rust IDE by JetBrains kind of thing. So we are only starting.
Awesome. And so that sounds great. RustRover is going to be released. I've already seen in the chat here, and I know I have this question as well. What is the licensing going to cost? Is JetBrains? I know that JetBrains editors are paid products, right?
Yeah, usually JetBrains products are paid, and RustRover is being an IntelliJ-based IDE, which we usually offer at a paid commercial product sold on subscription basis. So such an approach, well, actually allows us to be more sustainable, both as a team and as a company. But however, let's step back here for a while. So let's have a look at the Rust market. So it's really vibrant, it's emerging right now and rapidly growing. So a lot of really exciting things happening here. People are, learning, trying to use it in pet projects, all kind of personal utilities, and even beyond. So that said, naturally, currently, it seems most of Rust development is done, outside of your usual day job kind of thing. And I mean, it's all right. It's a very natural state of programming language, which community probably should go through to ensure wide language adoption in the future. And we actually would really love to support that if we can. So that said, we are like really happy to announce right now. So for any non-commercial usage, the same RustRover will be available for free, and the same RustRover will be available as a paid product for any commercial usage. So we're really excited, and for language IDE, like RustRover, we never done it before. So I don't know, let's go.
So just to confirm, because this is huge news, I just want to make sure the chat understands. So just to confirm, I can download the fully featured version of RustRover that's going to be released, the stable version, for free and use it for things like personal side projects, open source projects, completely free, right?
Yeah, that's right. So the same RustRover, if you are using it for non-commercial purposes, it's free for you.
Okay, that is amazing. Yeah, that was probably, like, for me personally, the only thing that would be a concern. Otherwise, it's such a great editor. So love that you guys are doing this. And then, like you said, there's going to be some sort of commercial license, right?
Yeah, while for like making non-commercial usage as free, we believe we lowering the barrier to using our ID, and we believe we will help a bit with Rust adoption. We also recognize commercial usages. And here, let's talk about pricing for commercial usage. So first of all, it's going to be paid. So no surprises here. Here, I would like first to comment on our recent decisions on removing database functionality and some web technologies, which some of you may be familiar with. So here's the thing, like we did it, and we did it because based on our anonymous usage data statistics, we see that RustRover users, like only tiny fraction of them are benefiting from advanced database support and web technologies. So what we decided to remove them and make it make it available as a paid plugins for those who need it. Database is already available. Web technologies not yet. We will listen to the community, to the feedback, and see whether it will make sense for us to provide additional like support. And this whole thing allowed us to actually reduce the base price of RustRover commercial version for majority of our users, which is going to be 129 euros per year. So that's actually the cheapest JetBrains ID at the moment. So let's congratulate us.
Okay, awesome. And again, it's for free for open source stuff, side projects. So everyone on this live call could use it. And which brings me, to the question: when is this live? When can we get our hands on it?
We expect a stable release of RustRover to be widely available in Toolbox, which I personally prefer, on website, and on Snapcraft shortly after this live stream.
Okay, right after this live stream.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I hope today, like in an hour or so.
Okay. And Kirill, I know all of you have been working on it super hard. Do you have any particular favorite feature?
Like I'd be kind of biased because it's part of my job to come up with those features, to be honest. But I really love, when ID just gets you, try to understand what you are doing and help you removing all kind of small hiccups here and there. So I'm personally a big fan of small things. For instance, like we automatically insert, I don't know, unwrap call or iter call during completion session, even when you didn't wrote it intentionally. So that seems like kind of small, but if you have tons of such features, you, like in my opinion, getting rid of actually tons of small mental fatigue here and there. And that's actually, it's our motto, focus on what matters. We're trying to help you out there.
Yeah, completely agree. That's like when I think of editors, the first thing I think of is how's this tool going to help speed up my workflow, make my life easier. And I'm sure you guys have plenty of features to share. And I believe, Vitaly, you had some features you wanted to share. So let me bring up your screen, and then we can go through some demos.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So as Kirill said, our motto is focus on what matters. And I want to show what does it actually mean, focus on what matters. So when you write code, you usually have your idea, something that you want to accomplish with Rust in RustRover, and then you write your code. But then in many cases, you have to switch to something boring. Like, for example, you need to add a dependency. You need to fix some error in your code. But that's something that does not help. And RustRover, in many of those cases, is able to solve that problem for you, so that you just really focus on what matter. So I will show you like one way of using RustRover, which I personally prefer, and to show like what features we have to have this smooth experience of writing your code with RustRover. So first, I have this screen here, and I will move to so-called presentation mode. And this is just one of the features. And if you are careful enough, you will see those shortcuts on my screen if you want to repeat something like that. So presentation mode gives like real focus to us. Okay, so we have this string. And for example, we want to make it format string parameter. Okay, so let's remove this line here. And then I will use what is known as alt-oriented development, or command option return in macOS. So we don't write Rust code. We use those actions to get something for us. Like, for example, here we can add format string argument, and that argument is going to be that string, like this one. So not too much coding, but just several shortcuts to get your job done. Now, so we have this string literal. Maybe we want to make it a variable. Of course, it's very easy to do with another shortcut. So that is going to be some name, for example. Maybe so we want to write command line application. So we don't have that name hard coded. So we want to have like some structure for arguments, for example. So we write some structure here, and then we define variable with that structure, something like that. And then we just complete this line. Now, so this name is supposed to be part of that structure. Let's try to do that. So it's not just name, it's args.name. But of course, at this time, there is no such field in that structure. Well, we can fix that. So we can just ask RustRover to add this field to the type. So you see, you need this field right here. So instead of going to the structure and add it by yourself, and this is kind of boring stuff, you can ask RustRover to do that for you. So we can add it, and now it's right there. I just write type, and here we are. But we are not right there yet, because now when we initialize that structure, we need to fix we need to add the value for that field here. So it's missing field. But instead of going there using mouse, or maybe like going down several lines, we can press another shortcut to go to the next highlighted error. So that's something that we have in RustRover to make it easier for you to navigate. So if you add something, then you need to fix here, so you can go right there. So once again, add missing field. Here we are. And now we got this right here. Okay. So now we don't need this variable anymore. So you're just not typing your code, but using RustRover to get the boring stuff for you.
It's the little things in life, right?
Of course, they're little things, but there are so many of them. So if you know how to use that, you write your code really like in very fast pace. So that's
blazingly fast, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, if we are developing command line application, then of course we need to use clap library. Like everyone uses clap these days. So we need to derive something for this structure. And instead of writing that derive clause, we just go to the structure and ask RustRover to do that for us. So let's derive it here, like no more typing. And then I know that I need to use something like parser to derive my command line arguments and all that stuff. And if you look closely here, you see it's red, partly red. That means that we don't have this dependency. So it's a clean project, no dependencies here. But if you want to use this, then RustRover can actually add a dependency for you. So let's do it right there. And then we are updating crates. And at this point, we can, for example, we can look at our kagatoml file. Here we are. So this dependency was just added for you. But you
really
don't
nice.
have to go there. Okay, so just write parser, and that's it. Now, while we are here, so this name argument must be a common, well, it could have a default name, for example. So we can add something like this. And RustRover knows that if you are using clap, then there will be this default value in arc macro. So it's there, so it's auto-completed. And of course, we can add that value here. All right. And so, yeah, that's it. So you don't have to remember all that stuff because it's already there. Like one other feature which I like one of beautiful features. So suppose you need to do something with random numbers here. And I never remember how to write that code for random numbers. So I've prepared some Scratch file here just to make it easier. So something like that. So suppose you find this line of code somewhere on Stack Overflow, for example. I'm old school guy. I go to Stack Overflow instead of asking AI to generate that stuff for me. So I just copy it. And then let me paste it right here. And at this very moment, RustRover actually knows what we are up to. So this random generation comes from the run crate. So we can add it to RustRover. And RustRover actually suggests us to add this dependency. Well, let's add it. And now, once again, we download crates. We do all the necessary stuff at this time. So we can look at kagatoml, and now we have two dependencies here. Okay. So it's already there. One more problem. Something is red. And if something is red, then that means that we can maybe fix it somehow. Yeah, now I'll need to import that because it's not imported. And now we are good to go. So we do things quickly. So that's the basic idea. So that's why we say, like, you can focus on what matters. You don't have to focus on adding dependencies, right? Some suggestion that I don't need here. Yeah. Now, for example, we know that many developers come to Rust from other programming languages. Like, for example, from Python, from JavaScript. We have a lot of features which were designed specifically for them. Like we have this num variable, for example. Let me write something like this. Like suppose I come from, let's say, C++ background or somewhere else. So we have some problem. Okay, let's look. What's the problem? Well, we need semicolon, of course, plus plus. Okay, Rust has no postfix increment operator. And I've completely forgotten about it because I come from C++, you know. So RustRover suggests us to fix it with what we should write in Rust, plus equals 1. Now we have another problem, which is, I think it should be mutable. Yeah, of course it should be mutable. So let's fix it. So If you come from other programming language and you use that ++, and in Rust there is no something like that, then RustRover can help you. Or one more example, like let's have a vector with numbers, something like this. And in some programming languages, it's possible to write like something like this. So you add new element to the end of this vector. Well, we have some problem. So first we need to make it mutable. And second, there is no such operation for vectors in Rust. So in that case, we need to, so what is suggested here? Okay, wait, okay, something is wrong. Okay, so Jan, we don't have that. All right, it doesn't work. So let me comment it out.
Live demos. It's always hard.
It always happens. Unfortunately, it always happens. Yeah. So that's demagogues are not happy with live
But basically,
demos.
if you're coming from less cultured languages, RustRover is going to help you out adapt to the Rust syntax.
Yeah, sure. So like something else. So we have this vector v here, and let's suppose we want to print all the elements. So for printing elements, we can use for each. But look, in vectors, there is no any for each. But we have this feature. We can add iter for you. You start writing for each, you add iter, and then just two methods are added right here. So you can write your code faster once again.
My favorite feature.
Yeah, by the way, I see what was my mistake. I'm sorry. So I had to write vector here. So it should be vector. So RustRover actually is much smarter than me in this case. So let's try it again. We need to write it once again. Right. So it's a vector. And in vector, you can actually extend it with some new element. And now we have this nice suggestion to replace this plus equals with push. And now it works. So I am not that smart. I just forgot that for arrays, you don't have this operation. So I try to extend it. But RustRover knows that if it's a vector, then you can do it right there. So that's an idea. Well, one more thing, if you let me, like we can use something which is called live template. So if you want to write for loop, you just use this completion for, and here's what you get. Like some code is inserted with several points of extension. For example, you want to go over this vector v, then I press enter, and then variable, one particular variable, let's make it like n. And now we have this loop for elements of this vector. Like one of my favorite live templates, PPD. PPD means like debug print right there. So for example, I want to print this like n variable. And look how it works. When I'm typing n here, it's also right there. So I don't have to repeat it. So that's how live templates work. They help you to write your code faster.
And can we create our own live templates, or is it just the built-in?
Of course, it's possible to create your own live templates. There is a collection of them. Like we have several prepared, but if you have some code that you write very often with all those nice features, when you go from one entry point to another entry point, of course you can use all that stuff. Yeah. So, but I should say one more thing here. So RustRover is always, like all our IDEs, they are all work in progress. We always work on new features. We try to implement something else which you'll benefit later in new versions. So, like for example, one of main focuses for us right now in implementing RustRover is to enhance your experience with macros. So, for example, I have this couple of macro definitions here. And if you are going from like if you have real Rust background, you know that macro stuff is quite complicated. So one of our goals right now is to make it easier to write macro definitions. So here, if you write some code right here, we have all the same features, like all those live templates. So everything just work right here. And then you can also do the same stuff as anywhere else. So, and although those macro definitions, they are compiled, they are recompiled, there's the whole procedure on how we work with them, still it's possible to write your code as if it's just regular Rust code. So maybe that's it from me. Thank you.
Yeah, great features. Thank you for sharing, Vitaly. And then I'm sure you guys have some more in store. Khaled, did you have something else you wanted to share?
Yeah, I'd love to show you some features. First, I gotta say the chat is really smart. They're picking out, like, they were helping Vitaly. So yeah, they're definitely watching Let's Get Rusty videos and learning more about Rust. So thanks, Bogdan, for all that. So yeah, like Vitaly has hinted, there are people learning Rust right now. There are a lot of great resources. The community's great. And he's hinted that RustRover can help you learn more about Rust. So that's kind of what I've been doing. My background's predominantly in C# and .NET. So Rust is really kind of a new foray for me. So here's some of my favorite features that I've kind of learned during the process of engaging with Rust and using RustRover. First of all, like mentioned previously, this is based on the IntelliJ platform. So coming from any other IntelliJ-based IDE, it's very, very familiar. The first thing you're going to run into is probably the Solution Explorer or the Project Explorer over here. And you can see kind of your Rust projects structure here. So any unique folders like source, target, benches, test, they will be highlighted. You can also see any external libraries that are actually part of your Rust project. So that's pretty awesome as well. So check that out. Again, if you're coming from any other IDE in the JetBrains family, this should be very, very familiar to you. The unique tool window for RustRover is the cargo tool window. Here you can see all the targets that are found within your current project. So you can kind of execute them whenever you need to. You can also refresh any of the cargo projects, add them, remove them. Another thing, you can run any cargo command, which is really nice. So by clicking that button, you'll get the run anything window here, and you can kind of see all of the cargo commands. You don't have to sit there, write them down on a notepad or remember them. We just have them all here with some really helpful documentation. So I think
So
that's
I'm just supposed to throw away my notepads now.
Oh, yeah, just in the trash, just right there. Just be sure to recycle. You want to be environmentally conscious. So there's that. You can run any external linter by clicking this. So right now, I think I'm running cargo check, but you can also switch over to Clippy if that's something you want to use instead of cargo check. So if I click this, I can choose Clippy here. And for folks running on those monster development environments with like 30,000 cores and memory, you can always run these things on the fly. You don't need that much, but if you have the resources, use them, turn on external linting on the fly, and you'll get all of those lint rules showing in the IDE. So that's pretty cool. You can also format your code. So again, I'm learning Rust. Maybe my code's not very idiomatic. Maybe it's looking a little messy. I might want to run Rust format here and kind of clean up my code. So yeah, that's the cargo tool window. Pretty cool, right, Bogdan?
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. I love it too. Yeah, the RustRover team is killing it with this stuff. So again, I'm learning Rust. I'm enjoying it. I think folks getting into the Rust community are also going to enjoy it. Vitali hinted last time, like when he was doing his demo, he kind of talked about dependencies. And if you're getting into Rust, you're probably going to end up spending a lot of time in cargo.toml. You're going to be setting up your Rust package. I have really fat fingers. It's not good, but I can get around. But sometimes I'll mistype something. And since this is a TOML file, we have full support, and we'll highlight things like misspellings. And right here, you can see, oh, I have an error in my cargo.toml. Again, you don't want to remember all this stuff right off the top of your head. So hitting Control Space, you'll get code completion as well, which is really, really nice. Vitali mentioned dependencies. In your dependencies section, you'll notice this little crate over here. If you highlight over it, you'll see that clicking on it will open the documentation for that particular crate. I think the Rust community has been exemplar in terms of writing documentation and teaching each other what they're doing and how to do it. So having access to the documentation right here is really an awesome feature. Another thing, sometimes you'll set a dependency using this syntax, but you can also do it by version number. If you don't want the version number, you want to expand it, you can always Option or Alt Enter. And then you can expand that dependency specification. And Bogdan, this is one of your favorite features. If you have features, you'll get code completion for the features that are supported in that crate.
Yes. I'm sold. This is my favorite feature so far.
Yeah, make your checks out to Khalid. No, I mean JetBrains. So there you go. So there's that. Another neat feature I found in cargo.toml when playing around, I noticed if your crate has a bunch of features defined, you can actually toggle them right in your cargo.toml. So if you want to test out your Rust project with or without a feature enabled, you can always go into the cargo.toml and check those and try out those different scenarios and different combination of features and scenarios. So that is super cool. So yeah, that's the cargo.toml support. Check that out. That's really cool. And I guess the next thing, Vitali mentioned he's an old school guy. He still likes finding code on the internet, right? Come on, Vitali. Yeah. All right, cool. But as you folks who follow JetBrains may know, we have an AI assistant service. Just to be clear, it is a different subscription-based product, but AI assistant integration is in RustRover. So once you sign up for that service, you will have access to our AI assistant here. And similar to other AI assistants, you can start in the chat. You can ask a question. You can tell it to look at code. But for me, chat is nice kind of when I'm trying to learn stuff. But AI assistant's really helpful for me for multi-line code completion. So here I'm in some Rust code. I've established a database connection to a SQLite database, but like Vitali was saying, maybe the syntax isn't coming to me. So I've taken the time here to write a clear comment about my intent and what I want to accomplish. And then when I hit enter, we'll call up to the AI assistant and we'll get some code completion. Hey, that looks pretty good. I also know somewhat in Rust that we get an option back. So things may be okay or they might error. So for this test, I just want to make sure that I'm asserting that everything is okay. And that looks really good. So that's a feature of AI Assistant, multi-line code completion. And the more code there is in a file, the better the code completion is going to be. So that's pretty cool. Another thing, in addition to watching Let's Get Rusty videos and learning from those, sometimes I'll just find code and I want to maybe see what each line means and document it. So I'll come here and let's use an AI action. Let's generate some code. So I've recently been watching One Piece on Netflix. So I want a pirate to explain this code to me. So explain this code on each line like a pirate. And the nice thing about AI assistant integration in all of our IDEs, including RustRover, is that you'll actually get a diff view here, and you'll see the results starting to stream in. Should I do a pirate voice? I'm not sure. I'll at least say "Yar, matey." So you can see now that each line is commented as a pirate would writing Rust code. But Bogdan, just to show how this works, what are some of your other favorite characters in the fictional universes?
Yeah, let's go with Star Wars.
All right, Star Wars. So hopefully Disney's lawyers aren't watching, but if they are, this is just for fun. This is just for fun. You can always go and re-specify your AI prompt. So no, I really wanted it documented like Yoda. And I won't make Bogdan do a Yoda impression, I promise, folks. So you can see the hums that Yoda is, famous for here. So if you like this, you can accept all, and then we will kind of inject that into, the code base here, and you can kind of go about it that way. So the nice thing about our AI assistant as well is we have a lot of prompts built in already. But if you find yourself finding a useful AI prompt that you're using across all of your solutions, you can always add that prompt and build your own kind of prompt library. So that's really, really powerful. I actually use it a lot to convert YouTube timestamps into HTML for blog posts. And that's been helpful. But use your imagination. There's an infinite world of possibilities out there. The other thing that I really love about all of our products, especially in RustRover, is bookmarks. So you can see here, there's these little yellow icons. This one's a number. We have the bookmarks tool window here on the left. And you can kind of jump between bookmarks really quickly. So for me as a learner, I put bookmarks in places and projects so that I can kind of go back. And once I've kind of done my research, I can go back and really try to understand that line. So you can set a bookmark at any point using a shortcut. You can remove it using the same shortcut. And you can also set mnemonic bookmarks. So here I have 1 and 3. And if I hit Control-1, I'll jump to the first mnemonic. If I hit 3, I'll jump there. And then I can just kind of jump back and forth, which is really neat. So bookmarks, use it, people. It's really good. Really good stuff. And then the final thing, running tests in RustRover. I've really been impressed by the Rust community's embrace of testing as kind of a first-class citizen. Whether you're doing unit tests or integration testing, RustRover has a lot of capability to kind of help you execute those tests. So going back here, for this really smart chat, they're really really eagle-eyed. They might have seen these little green icons here in the gutter. If you click it, you can run a test. We'll build, and then we'll execute that test. Not really, not really special code, but you can see here. We'll get there. So once the test is executed, you'll see the results. And in the run window for your tests, you can rerun that particular test. You can run only the failed tests, or you can turn on all tests to rerun automatically all the time, which is a really cool feature. additionally, if you find a module that's full of tests, you can just run them all at the same time, and then you'll see that. One thing I also want to say, if you're using logging or print lines in your tests, you'll actually see them in the output. But if you click, if you click a test, you will see that output as well in this preview window over here. So yeah, that's it. Those are some of my favorite features in RustRover. But like Vitaly said, there's so many features in our IDEs. I think the best thing to do is really just download it and try it for yourself. So
Cool. Thank you, Khalid. Yeah, you guys definitely took care to make a great user experience for Rust developers. I remember when I first downloaded RustRover, the main thing I liked is that everything is included, right? You just start up the IDE and all these features are ready to go. You don't need to mess with configurations or extensions. So great job, guys. Let's do a little Q&A. So chat, if you have any questions, write them down and then we can ask them live. But Kirill, maybe you're the best one to answer this question for myself, which is, I'm curious, what was the most challenging part building RustRover?
So there are a couple of those. One which I would like to highlight is the following. Like, look, when you are, there is a basic, unwritten rule when you are making the IDE for programming language. Assume you have a file, in our case, a Rust file. So the more you know about what's going on based on content of one file, the easier it is to make IDE support. Like, that's one thing. And in Rust, we don't always know what will happen because of macros and similar thing. So that actually was pretty tricky to pull off, but we have a really passionate technical team behind the product. So yeah, we're overcoming this challenge successfully so far, I think.
Okay, cool. I see a question here from chat. What if we want to use local LLMs? Is that possible?
Actually, I can answer this. I think local LLMs, they are work in progress for us at JetBrains. So we don't have them at this time, but it will be definitely possible sometime later. So just stay tuned, and everything like that will be there.
Yeah, we're working on those.
yeah, I will also add, we're working on a product called Full Line Code Completion, which is also free at this point. So that uses local models for single line code completion. I'm not sure. Can you install that in RustRover today or
we're
not yet?
working on it.
Okay, we're working on it. Okay, good.
Got another interesting question here. This is a good one. So with the dependency inclusion, like automatically being able to include dependencies, is that available for all crates or is it a subset, a well-known subset? How does that work?
Well, there is a subset, shortly, but you hardly will notice it because this subset is, covering. We are not just picked it up randomly. So we just did the research, what people actually do. So the intention is that you did notice that this is a subset. So if you have any problems, not only actually with this feature, but any feature request or any problem with RustRover, we have really brilliant dedicated support team, and we have our public issue tracker, and we read all new requests. So and we respond on all of them. So feel free to reach out to us.
Okay, cool, great. Are you guys hiring?
We are hiring, not Rust developers, because RustRover at the end of the day is JVM-based application. But we are hiring. You can check out JetBrains vacancies website to learn more.
Okay, cool. And okay, given all that, Kirill, can we finally announce how people can get their hands on this?
Sure. Again, JetBrains Toolbox, website, jetbrains.com/rust, even Snapcraft, it should be shortly available, or I assume it mostly should be available right now.
Okay, Perfect. And before I let you guys go, I'm curious, since you're here, what is the outlook? What is the JetBrains outlook for Rust? You guys are obviously, investing a lot of time and resources into it. So I'm curious.
To be honest, like, we're really excited here. I mean, the community ecosystem is growing really fast. People are passionate, and we're really happy to be part of this whole thing. And yeah, like 8 months ago, we were weighing all pros and cons when we were deciding whether to invest to full-blown ID. Right now, it's obvious. The choice was correct. So we're happy to continue.
Cool. Happy to know that. I'm sure the audience is happy to know that as well. So before you guys go, I'll give you an opportunity to plug yourself. Any social media, any channels the people should follow?
Yeah, let me mention something here. So, by the way, there was a question about the JetBrains Academy course on Rust. There is actually one. There is a Learn Rust course right there. It is based on Rustlink's collection of exercises, but you can run it right inside RustRover. So you get some text there, some explanations, some exercises, and we have a nice thing to check those exercises. There is a button, check an exercise. So just look for Learn Rust from JetBrains, and there is that course there. But of course, we would be happy if you follow us on X or Twitter. We have a RustRover account there. We also have blogs on our website. RustRover blog features not only something like blogs about RustRover, but we also go more we write more general content, which is useful for the whole ecosystem. So just follow us. You can get notifications, and then we also have so-called RustRover live streams, like once a month. Approximately on JetBrains YouTube channel, we are speaking with nice folks from Rust community. So please just check for announcements. Like, for example, we'll have one live stream with Will Crichton next week, next Tuesday. So just stay tuned. It will be very nice live stream. I'm absolutely sure. So yeah, just follow us everywhere.
Okay, cool. And guys, main thing from this call is today RustRover stable release is launched. Make sure to download it, free for non-commercial use. Feel free to use an open source, side projects, etc. So download it. And yeah, thank you guys for coming. It was a blast having you. Hopefully we get to do this in the future. And until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.